Welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. We thank you for joining us. Now the details. The Minister of Agriculture, Mohammed Sabo Nanono from Kano State, has been relieved of his position. Also affected in the cabinet reshuffle effected by President Muhammadu Buhari is the Minister of Power, Salim Maman from Taraba State. The special advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, announced this while briefing newsmen after the meeting of Federal Executive Council. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has more.
Reason has been given for the sack of the two ministers of Agriculture and Power who came on board on the 21st of August 2019. Presidential spokesman Femi Adesina, however, disclosed that government projects and programs implementation have been subjected to independent and critical self-review. This, he said, helped to identify and strengthen weak areas, close gaps, build cohesion and synergy in governance, manage the economy, and improve the delivery of public good.
And as this administration approaches its critical phase in the second term, I have found it essential to reinvigorate this cabinet in a manner that will deepen its capacity to consolidate legacy achievements. Accordingly, a few changes marking the beginning of a continuous process have been approved. Ministers leaving the cabinet: Mohammed Sabo Nanono, Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, and 2, Engineer Salim Maman, Minister of Power.
Consequently, Dr. Muhammad Mahamoud, Minister of Environment, has been redeployed to the Ministry of Agriculture, while Abubakar Aliyu, Minister of State for Works and Housing, assumed office as Minister of Power.
In due course, substantive nominations will be made to fill the consequential vacancies in accordance with the requirements of the Constitution.
While reiterating that this process shall be continuous, presidential spokesman Femi Adesina confirmed that President Muhammadu Buhari personally met the departing ministers and thanked them for the invaluable services rendered to the nation. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority has been tasked to undertake more critical investments capable of supporting the nation's economic diversification drive for sustainable future of the country. President Muhammadu Buhari threw the challenge while inaugurating the new board of directors of the authority. Details will come in our subsequent bulletin. The House of Representatives Committee on Customs is working to ease import and export through the nation's seaports by initiating measures to eliminate congestion. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the committee invited key players for a meeting.
Making Nigerian ports more competitive in the West African sub-region is the essence of this meeting, which had in attendance major players in imports and exports, the volume of which is in trillions of naira. The meeting became an avenue for buck passing as operators and regulators traded blames on who and what are responsible for delays in clearance at ports, leading to congestion.
The delay is actually from customs or the other regulatory agencies, because where you're supposed to bring NAFDAC or SON and you don't have, customs will certainly not allow or release such consignment.
Multiple problems which we have addressed. Some of them are outside that of Nigerian Ports Authority. The first problem is the issue of extortion. The essence of the checkpoints is not to interfere with the flow of traffic. The essence of the checkpoints is to verify that this truck is allowed to come in.
Because we are working together with NTA, we have spoken a lot about the gridlock, especially in Apapa.
The committee suggested streamlining of activities by all concerned, making functional all seaports and dry inland ports. The meeting agreed will improve services and fetch more revenue for governments.
They congest the ports so that the ports can be okay. People can make money instead of losing money. And even your revenue, you can even hit 3 trillion.
From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The federal government has commenced decentralization of the Integrated Payroll and Personal Information System, IPPIS, to ensure seamless operations of the policy. To this effect, A training of IPPIS role players is ongoing across the Federation. Clement Barikwi reports that the South-South training is holding in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital.
For now, it was difficult for government to have accurate data of its workforce, even as sharp practices such as ghost workers and illegal extension of service years were the order of the day. The coming of the Integrated Payroll and Personnel Information System, IPPIS, in 2007 put all these to rest, though not without initial problems, which this training intends to address.
Some loan houses collect the salary. At the end of the day, some other deductions cannot be taken out.
It's okay that it's been centralized, but we've had a lot of issues as regards variations.
Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, in his message to the IPPIS role players training, reaffirmed federal government determination to seek and implement new ideas to sustain the gains of the various financial management reform initiatives.
So what government continues to do is to continue to have a stakeholders engagement, just like we are having now, continuously engage the operators, engage the accounting officers, and everyone, all stakeholders.
If a staff is on interdiction, they should be able to discipline the staff. They can remove a staff, they can add a staff. They will have to sign off and then take responsibility.
I'm happy and proud to announce that we commence the use of this process since this administration came in.
The IPPIS policy now has 711 MDAs on the payment platforms, and this has saved costs and reduced leakages in government expenditure. In Uyo, Clement Barikwi, NTA News.
Worried by current insecurity and other challenges in Nigeria's mining sector, the Institute of Legislative Studies, University of Abuja, is holding a symposium on legislative intervention in Nigeria's mining sector for sustainable revenue generation. Abdurrahman Usman Jibrila reports.
Adopting an informed investment and operating strategy in the mining roadmap in Nigeria is key to building a sustainable and profitable business development in the country's mining sector. These stakeholders seem prepared for the assignment that brought them together in this hall, as the future holds a lot more.
The legislative arm of government can contribute to mining earning through the amendment of the acts. The dichotomy between states and the federal government, and even mining community, local government, everybody is claiming right of ownership of these minerals.
And we hope that in no distant future we'll have, this department, with all the strategies to make sure that we help the national development through mining on our campus.
And mining is one of those areas that has been a turbulent area all over the world. So security of life and property will be guaranteed in as much as we want to extract mining as a way to embolden our revenue generation.
However, the success of the symposium depends on the resolutions reached that will improve the situation in the mining industry and also lead to more domestic and foreign investments in the sector. In Abuja, Abraham Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission is engaging entrepreneurs to promote quality service delivery in the country. To this end, a virtual workshop is organized for women entrepreneurs in Abuja. Musa Abubakar reports.
Like consumers, these entrepreneurs have the right to information vital to their everyday operations.
So we provide real empirical.
This informed this forum by Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission to educate women entrepreneurs to entrench the right business practice and quality service without infringing on consumer rights.
PCE, which is the FCCPA 2018, and it gives tremendous powers to the organization that we have to now also share with these entrepreneurs so that they will know what their responsibilities are, as well as the responsibilities that they have towards their consumers of their services.
But when they have the information, here is to educate them and then to let them know what they should do in order to grow their business and not to fall into the problem of the act And so we decided to bring the women.
We're going to take away the quality service cannot be compromised if you want to remain in business.
I know what I'm supposed to give to people, and I know what I'm supposed to take from people. So whichever way, it's a win-win situation.
The overall objective is to promote quality and effective service delivery in the marketplace. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
Reactions and commendations have continued to trail Nigeria's economic recovery plan, with the federal government acknowledging the role of foreign investors in the recent upward review of Nigeria's economy despite the global COVID-19 pandemic. Bosede Abel reports that this came to fore at a business meeting organized by Nasima in Abuja.
Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment Adeniyi Adebayo declared in a business meeting in Abuja that the nation's economy is coming back strongly, with the first half of the year's investment announcement at $10.1 billion, an increase of 100% in 2020.
The federal government of Nigeria recognizes the importance of attracting and retaining patient investment into our economy.
We face the African Continental Free Trade Area now. We are moving from the ECOWAS ETLS to the AFTA.
The federal government of Nigeria also recognizes that the security and prosperity of our great nation is inextricably linked with those of the other countries and peoples with whom we collaborate.
We are hopeful that with events like this one, we will do our job better.
National President, Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, Ide John Udeagbala, says the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area would deepen and expand collaboration.
Nigeria is not an exception. Federal governments have rolled out various interventions.
It's a major source of revitalizing our economy again and invigorating it. So that's why we've organized this.
The opportunities are there, not only in the mining and agri sector, but even in the services sector.
The meeting stressed the need to stay committed to building a sustainable trade infrastructure within and across Africa. In Abuja, Bosede Abel, NTA News.
4 development partners have committed a sum of $520 million to the development of first phase of special agro-industrial processing zones in some selected states across Nigeria. The senior special advisor to the president of the Africa Development Bank on Industrialization, Professor Banji Oyeyinka, disclosed this at a high-level virtual discussion in Abuja. Ifeanyi Zumba reports that the FCT Minister of State was in attendance.
Specifically, the Senior Special Advisor to the President of the African Development Bank on Industrialization, Professor Banji Oyeyinka, revealed that the African Development Bank has committed the sum of $160 million. The African Growing Together Fund, AGTF, committed $50 million. The Islamic Development Bank, $150 million, while the International Fund for Agricultural Development committed $160 million, bringing the total sum to $520 million for the development of the project in Nigeria. He gives assurance of the commitment and readiness of the bank and other partners to officially flag off the project in Nigeria before the end of 2021.
The development of competitive value chains will help meet the rising demand for food and industrial products in the domestic and export markets. 26 states and the FCT are eligible to participate in this project and are required to express interest through the ministry to the African Development Bank.
Speaking on the preparedness of the FCT administration, FCT Minister of State Ramatu Tijani Aliu says the administration is fully committed to the success of the project.
We are already implementing our 2020-2023 strategic plan with the SLPZ as an essential pillar.
Of the SAP's establishment project include Kaduna, Kwara, Kano, Imo, Cross River, Ogun, and Oyo states. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NTA News.
You are watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Our first stop is Lagos, and Ruth is standing by. Hello, Ruth.
Hello, Lydia.
To speed up investigation and enhancing prosecution process, the Nigeria Police Headquarters is undertaking capacity building workshop for its image makers across the country. Inspector General of Police Usman Alkali at the opening said the training in collaboration with German International Cooperation Agency would assist in fighting crime and insecurity. Samuel Johnson reports that the first edition is holding in Lagos.
The police, according to the Inspector General, needs to scale up its investigative techniques and strategies, hence the training with focus on forensic investigation of crime. As police image makers, they are expected to sharpen their skills and blend their knowledge.
I feel it is pertinent and a duty of me to encourage and support the Public Relations Department in making their officers better than what they are in terms of performing their duties.
Head of Component Police Programs of GIZ in Africa explained that with 3 forensic laboratories in Abuja, Lagos, and Enugu states, as well as partnership involvement already in 11 states in Nigeria, the training will boost the security agencies' crime-fighting efforts.
These trainers will continue to basically expand the knowledge and relay that knowledge that they have learned in the past 2 weeks to the new recruits coming in from the academy. So we hope to initiate a snowball effect of more and more police officers knowing at least the basics about crime scene management.
Earlier, the force spokesman, Frank Mba, appreciates the commitment of the Inspector General of Police to capacity building in police formations nationwide. In Lagos, Samuel Johnson, NTA News.
Various levels of impunity exhibited by road users has led to the arrest of 25 offenders in Lagos. Diana Ajale reports that the arrest forms part of Operation Mop-Up exercise by the Federal Road Safety Corps as the Ember months sets in.
It's that time of the year, known as the Ember months, that there is an increase in the activities of road users. Reckless driving, usage of unauthorized number plates, driving against the traffic and other road traffic offenses have been identified as the reasons for increase in road crashes. This informed the commencement of Operation Mop-Up exercise by the Federal Road Safety Corps ahead of preparation for the Ember months to ensure safety of lives and property. During the operation, over 20 drivers were arrested for various offenses.
When they arrest them, you see that they don't no tires. Even though some they have tires, no jack, no spare tire, no fire extinguisher. So I don't know. The people are just risking their life.
All the drivers have been tutored and been given some symposium or seminars about to caution to check their vehicles. All the necessary things to be done, like brake, wiper, full light, the tires.
We have those that have gone to the extent of using their traditional title in place of their number plate. I know what this portends for security and safety on our roads. When you look at it from 2 dimensions, when a vehicle gets involved in a crash, maybe hit and run, the only easiest way to get across to that vehicle is through proper registration. It's all what we want to keep is the law, the health of the vehicle, the status of the road, and the health of the passengers. Those are the things that are important to us. And I can guarantee you, no retreat, no surrender.
Since the commencement of the Operation Mop-Up exercise 8 months ago, over 1,700 vehicles have been impounded. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
That's it from here. Sokoto is next, and Sadia is set to bring us stories from that zone after the break.
Admission forms into NTA Television College JOS 2021-2022 2-year National Innovation Diploma Program are on sale from 9th of August to 29th of October 2021. Candidates who wish to apply for admission must have 5 O-level credits in relevant subjects including English language and mathematics. The courses available for application include film and television production, broadcast journalism, and television engineering technology. The admission forms can be obtained at NTA Television College or any NTA station nationwide at the cost of 7,500 naira only. Payment for the form is through remitter platform only in favor of NTA Television College. For more inquiries, please call 0803-079-5335 or 0806-980-9807. Management Announcer.
The federal government has commenced second phase of COVID-19 vaccination. If you are 18 years and above and unvaccinated, register at www.nphcda.vaccination.gov.ng. Visit the nearest vaccination site to receive COVID-19 vaccine. If you received first dose of AstraZeneca vaccine before 8th July 2021, second dose commences 23rd August and closes 5th September 2021. All vaccines are free and certified safe by WHO and NAFDAC. At the vaccination site, you can check blood pressure and know your diabetes risk status. Children aged 0 to 23 months will receive childhood vaccines and screen for malnutrition. After vaccination, continue to adhere to COVID-19 prevention protocols. For more information, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng or call 0700-220-1122. This message is from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
Firstly, safety. I will ensure that my family members and loved ones are safe.
I will try as much as possible not to get involved.
You should call the nearest police station.
I will alert my family, my friends, my neighbors in that vicinity that this is what is happening.
Who wins the star prize of 1 million naira in the ongoing Peace Nigeria Challenge, powered by Ask Nigeria in partnership with National Council for Arts and Culture, NCAC, Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, and Star Times. Unity Challenge Nigeria, stronger together.
Glad you're still there. Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal says computer centers will be provided in all schools that are yet to have such centers in the state to encourage learning of computer science from basic and secondary school levels. Tambuwal made the disclosure at a one-day basic educational development dialogue organized by the Consultative Committee on Education in Sokoto State. Lat Abdullahi has the report.
The idea to set up the Consultative Committee on Education is part of government's effort at ensuring rapid and successful realization of the goals of declared state of emergency on education in the state. After 3 years of establishment, the Consultative Committee organized a stakeholders meeting to provide an update on its performance and offer opportunity for dialogue from experts to enhance its activities. The committee, according to its secretary Abubakar Muhammad Gedadawa, has integrated 100 Zawri Islamia schools in Zangaya system of learning Islamic and Western education, as well as constructed 4 primary schools in the educationally disadvantaged communities. 6 junior secondary schools were completed, 7 are ongoing, while renovations had been carried out at Gamji Girls College Raba and Senior Secondary School Sanyina. Furniture, learning materials, ICT centers, science and computer laboratories, as well as water supply facilities were provided at all the completed schools. Contributors in the dialogue called for encouragement of community ownership of the facilities, effective supervision of teachers, and upward review of teachers' remunerations to guarantee effectiveness. Chairman of the committee, Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar, said, in the near future, a fundraising will be organized during which private individuals will be invited to support the activities of the committee. Records have shown that the activities of the committee have helped in reducing the rate of out-of-school children in the state by 50% in the past 3 years.
And we need a lot of support from private sector because government alone cannot do it. It's very clear that the resources are very limited.
The naval firm handling the projects, which went compulsory break due to COVID-19, had fully resumed with a pledge to complete all ongoing constructions in a short period of time. In Sokoto, Dalatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Now, Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar has called on Nigerians to support the Nigerian army to end the security challenges facing the nation. He made the remarks when he received the General Officer commanding 8th Division Nigerian Army, Sokoto, Major General Basir OM, on a courtesy call at his palace. Sheikh Muhammad Detti completes the report.
The Sultan said defeating banditry is a collective responsibility of all, calling on Nigerians to contribute by giving useful information or providing logistic support to the security operatives. Sultan Muhammad Saad advised the GOC to work with all the relevant stakeholders to get intelligence report that can assist in their operation.
Your success is our success, and putting hands together with you in your operational responsibilities is a must.
General Officer Commanding 8th Division, Nigerian Army, Sokoto, and Commander of the Joint Task Force Operation, TAG, Hadarin Daji, Major General Basi UM, assured the Sultan that the Army will work closely with the traditional institutions in carrying out their official duty.
The security challenges in Northwest is gaining uncomfortable dimension, kidnappings, criminalities, and banditries.
The Sultan has also received the National President of Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association, NAOA, and her entourage. The Sultan admonished the President to ensure the well-being of the families of soldiers that lost their lives at the battlefield. He called on her to engage them in skills acquisition programs and other areas that can keep them engaged and self-reliant. The NAOA President, Salamatu Farouk Yahya, appreciated the warm reception accorded them by the Sultan. She seeks for the Sultan's royal blessings, guidance, and prayers in carrying out their responsibilities. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's now back to Lydia in Abuja.
Many thanks, Adia. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has called on Nigerians from all strata to eschew the deliberate heating of the polity and escalation of sensitive national issues to their advantage just to achieve meager political mileage. The minister spoke to newsmen in Praia, Cape Verde Island. Anthony Forson was there.
Is preceded by this kind of reckless, mindless rhetorics.
The broadcast media space recently has been inundated with what the Information and Culture Minister described as incendiary broadcasts that are capable to throw the country into a war.
And they don't care. They've forgotten that it was only one single radio station in Rwanda and one extremist magazine that set the stage for the genocide that killed over 800,000 people in Rwanda in 1994. Now you can imagine now when there's a cacophony of these rhetorics coming from various radio stations, various online publications, you can imagine the kind of panic it can cause, especially in a country like Nigeria.
And most disheartening, the minister pointed out, is that they are done by people who know the truth.
What one expects from leaders at this trying period, when the government is doing its best to fight banditry, to fight Boko Haram, to fight insurrectionists, is to actually help government.
And to airing broadcast stations, the minister was emphatic that no government would fold its arms and watch people who were part of a regulation flaunt it for selfish reasons.
In the first instance, we've urged and we have encouraged the various regulators to ensure that the broadcasting code and all other regulations are not violated.
Lai Mohammed is in Cape Verde to attend the 64th UNWTO Commission for Africa meeting. In Cape Verde, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The Department of State Services wants subversive groups and individuals to desist from negative media campaign against the service. A statement by spokesperson for the service, Dr. Peter Fulani, says the service uncovered plans by some groups to further use fake news, propaganda, and malicious comments through sponsored articles to undermine it. DSS thereby urges the public to disregard the emerging trends and patterns. The service also warns the group to desist from doing so or be ready to face the full wrath of the law. Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak of Kwara State has met with Fulani community in the state to get them involved in the fight against crimes and entrench peace and security. Kehinde Omolosho reports that heads of Fulani communities and associations from across the 16 local government areas of the state attended the consultative meeting.
Ban on open grazing of cattle in some southern states of Nigeria has no doubt led to mass movement of others to Kwara State, being a gateway between the southwest and northern parts of the country. It is in a bid to manage this movement and its attendant security threats that the governor is meeting the Fulanis to forge a consensus on how to manage others' farmers' relationship for peace to reign across the state.
Nomadic education, healthcare delivery, water projects, empowerment. So all those things were talked about in the process.
If somebody has committed a crime in your own area and you know that they are committing crime, report to the police. Our work here is to protect every person, and we rely on you to give us information.
The Seriki Fulani and heads of other Fulani communities appreciated the government for giving them sense of belonging, but called for more support in the area of education, social amenities, and economic empowerment.
We thank Your Excellency for providing peaceful atmosphere among farmers, herders, and even providing security for Fulani refugees from other states. We promise to be law-abiding and report any suspected criminals among us.
Unless the issue of education is emphasized for the nomads, we will continue to have this problem for life.
They pledged their unalloyed support to the governor and all his programs to make the state safe for all to live. Kehinde Omolosho, NTA News.
Activities marking the annual Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration has commenced with the inauguration of the 2022 Planning Committee. The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, Musa Istefanos, while inaugurating the members drawn from military, paramilitary, and civil organizations, charged them to focus on the real essence of the annual ritual.
We must never lose the essence of which we keep performing this ritual every year. That is to honor our fallen heroes. Once we miss that, every exercise we have done will be actually useless.
The sacrifices of our fallen heroes and heroines and veterans for national peace and security are worth remembering. Hence the conduct of the Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Let us show that we care by supporting the families of our fallen heroes.
15th of January every year is set aside to remember and honor the nation's veterans and fallen heroes who participated in the world wars and the Nigerian Civil War, as well as the families left behind. Chinenye Nwoye is standing by in Enugu with more reports on Nationwide.
So much, Lydia. Welcome to Enugu. 2 mosques destroyed during a protest has been rebuilt by the Enugu state government and handed over to the Muslim community in Nsukka local government area of the state. Handing over the rebuilt mosques, Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi assured all residents of the state that government is committed to protecting everyone, irrespective of religious affiliation. Susan Eze reports.
The Muslim community in Nsukka local government, led by the chief imam Nsukka Central Mosque, Alhaji Yakubu Ome, poured out their heart full of gratitude to the state government for what they described as its high level of tolerance, commitment to development, and a show of peace and bridge-building spirit. The extension of unreserved help to all and sundry in Enugu State, irrespective of religion or race, according to the Muslim faithful, is a demonstration of maturity by the government.
You have also demonstrated on parallel record by quickly putting together and deploy all your arsenal to ensure the avoidable crisis that led to the miscarriage of annoyance to our worshiping place, mosque, did not reach the point of no return.
Represented by the Nsukka Council chairman, Governor Ugwanye appreciated the Muslim, Christian, and other religious groups for sustaining the peace in the state, reassuring them that government is committed to ensuring their safety.
The synergy, the relationship between the Muslim community in Enugu State and other religions in Enugu State has been firm, and it will continue to be firm and firm.
So what he has done is to demonstrate what responsible leadership means. Peace is definitely possible. If we think peace, if we speak peace, if we act peace, then there will be peace.
Without peace, we will not see the combination of Muslims and Christians together in this type of events.
The two mosques were touched during a crisis that erupted in the area in October 2020, but no life was lost. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
The Minister of Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, has promised to restore the dilapidated structure of Ekulu Workshop of Project Development Institute, Enugu, for optimal research and production for the teeming youths of the country. He made this known during an inspection tour of facility in Enugu. Mina Adobe Ukobase reports.
Addressing the press, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu expressed dissatisfaction on the state of the facility at Ekulu Workshop, Enugu, which can produce equipment that will serve the country in various capacities. He restated federal government's determination to restoring the facility so that the teeming youths can be trained in modern technology.
When the need arises, you can always put in an additional day to make sure that the desired results are achieved.
He added that the ministry would map out necessary strategies to fix the Ekulu Workshop and raise it to higher pedestal. In Enugu, Mina Adobe Kobasi, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. Nationwide continues with Frama in Jos. After this commercial break, do stay.
The NOA, for example, has succeeded a great deal in sensitization during the pandemic, and we have found the community mobilization officers most effective in the sensitization and in the advocacy campaigns, creating awareness on the coronavirus pandemic. We have done this through the production of jingles, which were very widely distributed in different languages, in English, in Hausa, in Yoruba, in Igbo, in Tiv, in Igala, in Kanuri, in Fulfulde, in Ijo, in Isoko, in Bini. In talk of any other language you can think of, we had translated sensitization messages.
This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
We are StarTimes, the most affordable digital pay TV platform with the widest signal coverage in Nigeria, dedicated to bringing the best TV entertainment around the world to your screen. From Hollywood to Bollywood to Nollywood, we offer the most affordable subscription. Enjoy over 75 channels for as low as 1,700 naira, like Nat Geo Wild, BBC, ESPN, and premium sport like Emirates FA Cup, La Liga, Bundesliga, wrestling. What's more exciting? We have the most flexible payment options in Nigeria. Don't dull. Join us now for an exciting journey. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Thanks for staying tuned and welcome to JOS. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, has assured that the Nigerian Armed Forces will deploy every strategy towards ensuring security of lives and property. He stated this in Jos during his visit to Governor Simon Bakolalo. Priscilla Grumnan reports.
The Chief of Defense Staff, who is on a working visit to Plateau State, condoled with the government and people of the state and restated his determination to securing lives and property of citizens, in line with President Muhammadu Buhari's directive to ensure the restoration of peace. General Irabo expresses confidence in the ability of security agencies to their responsibilities.
Peace on the plateau can only come with input from everyone that is on the plateau. The military and of course security agencies' input to the peace process is only a very minute part. The greater part, of course, has to be borne by the citizens.
Governor Simon Lalong appreciates the federal government for its support towards the restoration of peace in the state.
For the last 6 years, we've had conversations. We've had a lot of military deployments here and there. And many of the issues we have raised, we've addressed them. In fact, to complement some of these issues, we set up peace-building agencies. We set up this organization to build peace. I know the role of also Operation Safe Haven here.
He called on the people to continue to be law-abiding while government will do its best to addressing their plight. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari's commitment to lifting millions of Nigerians out of poverty is being practicalized in Plateau State with ongoing conditional cash transfer programs for the poor. Caleb Ochin has details.
In Mangu local government area is the venue of the flag off, where the focal person, Social Investment Program Plateau State, Dr. Somaya Hamza, supervised the payment alongside officials of our office. The beneficiaries expressed gratitude to the federal government for the gesture with a promise not to abuse the privilege.
Appreciate the federal government remembering the poor of the poorest by giving them stipends to alleviate their sufferings.
I will trade with the money to bring me some interest which will help take care of my family. God bless the provider and bless the money.
Dr. Samaya, who addressed both the old and new beneficiaries of the program, advised them to utilize the funds judiciously.
This is one of the payment points to decentralize payment, to make things very easy and accessible to the beneficiaries. So initially in Plateau State total, we had a total of 26,000 households benefiting. But with this very payment, we have 74,000 households that are benefiting. So it's a huge increase.
We thank God that normalcy has resumed in a lot of local government areas. So we'll continue to pay, God willing.
The National Cash Transfer Program commenced in 2016, with Plateau State coming fully on board in 2017. In Jos, Caleb Gochin, NTA News.
That's it from Jos. Nationwide continues with Lydia in Abuja.
Thank you, Frama. 35 states in Nigeria and the FCT have commenced the Phase 2 vaccination exercise as key players in the national response to COVID-19 urge Nigerians to avail themselves of the vaccination opportunity and safeguard public health. This was made known at the weekly National Primary Healthcare Development Agency media briefing on the updates of the nationwide COVID-19 vaccine rollout exercise. Olusheye Adiagbo reports.
30th August 2021, up to 2,897,201 people had so far been vaccinated with the first dose vaccine, while 1,430,379 already received the second dose, as the country's second phase of the COVID-19 vaccination exercise continues. With the Moderna vaccine said to be available and currently being administered in all designated health facilities nationwide, those who had their first dose of AstraZeneca vaccine are also expected to make the second dose a priority, more so when they have also been made available at health facilities.
At this juncture, I would like to remind all Nigerians that evidence of vaccination against COVID-19 is now mandatory for all pilgrims to the holy cities of Saudi Arabia and Jerusalem. If some individuals refuse to take the vaccine, hence endangering those who have or those who could not due to medical exemptions, then we have to apply the basic rule of law, which stipulates that your human right stops where mine begins.
The Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, said the fact that some countries have made COVID-19 vaccination an entry requirement underscores the urgent need to fight against misinformation and fake news about vaccines in Nigeria.
The federal government is very alert on the safety and efficacy of the various range of vaccines we're using in the country.
The fact that 60 to 70,000 people a day are being vaccinated using Moderna in itself is a success. Yes, we need to increase it up to 100,000, that's the target.
Representatives of UNICEF and World Health Organization commend receptions across states of the Federation and the FCT, advising those already vaccinated to be role models in the campaign of vaccine safety and potency against the deadly coronavirus. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
In continuation of its mandate, the Presidential Committee on the Reform and Decongestion of Correctional Centers has released 31 inmates of the Kano Medium Security Correctional Center. One of the released inmates is a teenage girl who was forced into marriage by her parents, but later accused of being the cause of the death of her husband. Femi Okiowo brings us details.
Rahama Hosseini was a JS1 student in 2014 when she was forcibly married off by her father. 3 days after the marriage, while her husband was attempting to consummate the marriage, a struggle ensued, which was said to have resulted in his death. Rahama has remained in custody since then. While going through the exercise of releasing qualified inmates, the representative of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC, brought to the attention of the Presidential Committee Rahama's case. During his courtesy visit, Justice Ishaq Bello raised the issue with the Kano State Governor, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, who immediately activated the prerogative of mercy constitutional process to secure a pardon for Rahama. The Kano State Governor also promised to pay more attention to the juvenile justice system in the state.
We give employment to some of them, and also we have reformatory section. Those who are on drug, of course, they are not even prisoners, but we take them there for rehabilitation.
19 inmates were released during the exercise through the payment of fines by the Federal Ministry of Justice and various NGOs. 7 others, too, regained their freedom as a result of old age.
For anybody to think that order for compensation will mean remanding that convict ad infinitum is wrong.
So far, over 10,000 inmates in correctional centers across the country have been beneficiaries of the intervention of the Presidential Committee. Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
As those with the responsibility of molding and shaping lives of the younger generation, teachers must improve on technical skills for repositioning themselves to inculcate peace, building, and non-violence extremism into the country's teaching methodology. This came to the fore at a 3-day capacity building workshop on preventing violent extremism through education for teachers in 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. Organized by Nigerian National Commission for UNESCO, Federal Ministry of Education, it seeks to equip learners of all ages with knowledge, values, attitudes, and behaviors that foster responsible global citizenship, apathy, and ability to take action against violent extremism.
As lead trainers of teachers and educators, to reflect on how we can capitalize on our different perspectives and mandates to accelerate the achievement of peace, resilience building, and the prevention of violent extremism into our curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment integration and practices.
Through this workshop, the Nigerian teachers will be able to identify the mechanisms for infusing methods of building peace, resilience, and prevention of violent extremism.
The belief of UNESCO is that education is a veritable tool to be used to quell violent extremism in any nations of the world.
United Nations and its partners are poised to developing a consensus in key priority areas of human rights, its impact and trend among nations. In Nigeria, United Nations agencies are synergizing with the National Human Rights Commission and MDAs through dialogue and consultations to ensure the implementation of human rights obligations. Charles Alpha reports.
The dialogue and consultations meeting in Abuja is targeted at securing a common understanding of priorities for the United Nations and government of Nigeria on the need to promote and protect the rights of citizens while eliminating all forms of discrimination, inequality, and racism.
As Nigeria strives towards a nation that acknowledges the rights of all human beings with strong and effective national protection systems, UN instruments and the mechanisms they have established, as well as the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
It is important for all stakeholders to reflect deeply on the human rights situations in Nigeria with a view to drawing up a priority plan that could effectively engage the human rights challenges of the country.
The emphasis here is on implementation of its obligations and documentation of extant laws that will uphold rights and privileges of women, the poor, and the vulnerable.
Nigeria, as enshrined in our Constitution, is committed to respecting, promoting, and protecting the fundamental human rights of all citizens.
The Federal Ministry of Women Affairs has been very proactive in its implementation.
Nigeria, on its part, was commended for ratifying the 9 core United Nations human rights treaties, supporting 240 out of 290 of the legal and general framework of the United Nations and regions. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Nigeria's High Commissioner to India, Ahmed Sule, is asking investors from India to harness Nigeria's resources in agriculture, mining, manufacturing, energy, information technology, and pharmaceuticals for economic development of the two nations. Nigeria's envoy to Nigeria, Ahmed Sule, who presented letter of credence in Delhi, alongside other envoys, asked Indian companies to take advantage of Nigeria's endowed potentials for investments. He reiterated the need to sustain the Joint Defense Consultative Committee meeting between Nigeria and India in furtherance of the mutual defense cooperation. Ahmed Sule said recent dialogue on counter-terrorism at the National Security Advisors level, the first to be hosted by India with any African country, is a good initiative to enhance peace and security. Sports is next with Kene Ima Godike.
We begin with the ongoing Tokyo 2020 Paralympics.